I'm sharing it here only for students who are aspiring toward a postgraduate degree or those who are currently struggling with academic style presentations. If you are not interested in the academic side of things, this video will probably feel quite boring, and I would encourage you to skip it now. But if you are preparing for a postgraduate program, especially one involving research papers and academic presentations, then this video may be very useful for you. At the postgraduate level, assessments are typically built around research papers of about 1000 to 2000 words, which must follow high-quality academic standards. These research papers are often complemented with 10 to 20-minute presentation, either recorded or delivered live to an evaluator or panel or your academic faculty. If you would like to see the research paper behind the presentation you are about to watch, you can see the descriptions on how to contact me, and I'll be happy to share it with you and explain the structure. Also, if you're struggling with making such presentations and if you want personal guidance on how to plan, structure, and deliver postgraduate level academic presentations, feel free to contact me. I offer one-on-one training for exactly this. Now, one important disclaimer. This presentation is not intentionally perfect. Some mistakes are intentional because I want students to see what a good enough presentation looks like, and some mistakes are simply unintentional. I invite you to mention in the comments what you think could have been improved, whether it's delivery, content, structuring, clarity, or visual aspects. Your feedback helps everyone learn. That said, this presentation is still strong enough to score passing or even good marks, provided the research paper and other assignments are done well. The key lesson in postgraduate academic evaluation is that you must strictly follow the evaluator's instructions regarding time limit, scope, structure, and objectives, or any other instructions that evaluator has given. It also helps to practice beforehand. You can read from your notes occasionally, but ideally, your delivery should be smooth and well rehearsed. It is also beneficial to refer to the syllabus or the concepts covered during your module, that 3 months or 6 months module that you have gone through, because it shows your academic understanding and increases your credibility. You will notice how I do this in this presentation. Another important tip, make sure your presentation shows that you have considered your midterm feedback and implemented improvements. This is something evaluators actively look for, and you will see examples of that in this presentation. And finally, if your presentation is recorded, ensure that the evaluator can see your face throughout the video. It matters more than most students realize. With that, here is the sample presentation. I hope it helps you prepare better and feel more comfortable, more confident in your postgraduate journey. Good day. Thank you for reviewing my strategic management presentation. I'm Vaibhav Vajpayee, and over the next, I will present a strategic analysis of a hypothetical organization, say organization X, and outline the best strategic option for its long-term success. Our hypothetical organization, the organization X, is a sustainability and ESG advisory firm operating in India, offering climate risk analysis, sustainability reporting support, and ESG training to corporates and investors. The firm operates in a rapidly evolving environment, shaped by increasing regulatory pressure, rising customer expectations for transparency, and intensifying competition from both global consulting firms and specialized ESG service providers. The purpose of this strategic review is to identify the most effective long-term strategic direction for the organization. To do this, I applied the core frameworks covered across the strategic management module. From Unit 1, I used foundational tools such as SWOT and TOS, which is SWOT and TOWS. From Unit 2, I incorporated the concept of core competencies, which later became central to the chosen strategy. Unit 3 introduced adaptability and blue ocean strategy, which informed the evaluation of innovative options. Unit 4 contributed insights on alliances and outsourcing, relevant for one of the strategic options I will present. From Unit 5, I integrated the role of culture and CSR. Finally, Unit 6 addressed strategic change, framing my recommendation for digital transformation. In this presentation, I will walk you through our SWOT findings, the TOS analysis, 3 long-term strategic options, an evaluation of each, and the rationale for selecting our preferred option. This SWOT analysis summarizes the internal and external factors shaping organization X. On the strength side, the firm has deep subject matter knowledge in ESG analytics, combined with strong storytelling capabilities, a differentiator in sustainability communication. Its agility and purpose-driven culture give it flexibility in responding to market changes. However, the weaknesses include a high level of founder dependency, limited digital infrastructure, and relatively low market visibility, constraints that limit scalability. These weaknesses were highlighted in my midterm feedback and have been addressed in the improved analysis. Externally, the organization is well positioned to benefit from rising ESG regulation, increasing demand for climate risk assessments, and opportunities for technology partnerships. At the same time, competition from large consulting firms, pricing pressure, regulatory uncertainty, and difficulty attracting specialized talent pose significant threats. This SWOT sets the foundation for the TOES metrics, where we derive the strategic options for long-term growth. When we interpret the SWOT from the strategic management perspective, several implications become clear. First, our strengths indicate that Organization X already possesses what Prahlad and Hamel in their 1990 research described as emerging competencies, deep ESG expertise, and strong communication capability. These strengths are differentiators in an industry where many competitors focus purely on reporting or compliance. Second, our weaknesses point directly to what Tees, Pisano, and Schuen in their 1997 research, apologies for any mispronounced names, they call capability bottlenecks. The reliance on the founder, limited digital systems, and low brand visibility constrain scalability. Unless these weaknesses are addressed, the organization cannot build what Tees refers to as dynamic capabilities, which are essential for thriving in rapidly changing markets. Third, the opportunities are unusually strong. Three researchers, Eccles, Crisis, and Ribot in 2014 note that global regulatory pressure around ESG disclosures has created sustained demand for advisory services, especially in emerging markets. This aligns perfectly with Organization X's positioning and expertise. Finally, the threats, particularly from Big Four competitors, highlight the need for sharper strategic choices. Hart and Milstein in 2003 research emphasized that small firms succeed against large incumbents by occupying a distinct niche. Therefore, Organization X must strengthen its unique value proposition while avoiding direct competition in commoditized services. These insights set the stage for TOES analysis, where we convert SWOT data into actionable strategic choices. Using the SWOT as the foundation, the TOES matrix helps us convert analysis into actionable strategic options. The SO quadrant suggests that Organization X can leverage its ESG expertise and storytelling strengths to build AI-enabled advisory tools or sustainability academies. This aligns with what Collis and Montgomery in 1995 research described as competing on unique resources, turning strengths directly into growth opportunities. In the ST quadrant, differentiation becomes the key theme. By strengthening our integrated ESG analytics and storytelling capability, the firm can stay ahead of Big Four competitors. Consistent with Hart and Milstein's 2003 research, their view that sustainability-driven value emerges from distinctiveness and innovation. In the WO quadrant, we find the most important insight. Reducing founder dependency and investing in digital infrastructure are necessary steps. These addresses internal weaknesses directly so that the organization can benefit from attractive market opportunities. This corresponds to Barney's 1991 research, VRIO logic, which is VRIO logic. If a strength is not organizationally embedded, it cannot generate long-term competitive advantage. Finally, in the W3 quadrant, strategies focus on risk mitigation, improving brand visibility, strengthening market presence, and institutionalizing capability renewal mechanisms help manage external threats such as competition, regulatory shifts, and talent shortages. Leonard Barton in 1992 research warns that competencies can quickly become rigidities if they are not refreshed, which underscores the need for renewable processes. This TOES analysis gives us the basis for generating the three strategic options for long-term success. Based on the TOES analysis, we developed three long-term strategic options. The evaluation of these options follows the framework suggested by Grundy in 2007 research report, using criteria such as strategic attractiveness, implementation difficulty, uncertainty and risk, and stakeholder acceptability. Option 1 is market penetration and brand visibility. This option focuses on increasing customer acquisition by strengthening digital market, thought leadership, and brand positioning. It is strategically attractive because ESG consulting market is expanding rapidly. However, its impact depends heavily on digital readiness and credibility building, which may require significant investment. Option 2 is partnership-driven expansion. This involves strategic alliances with climate tech firms, academic institutions, and specialized data providers. Unit 4 of this module emphasizes how alliances help small firms access new markets and capabilities without high capital costs. This option is moderately attractive and reduces strategic risk by sharing resources. Option 3 is digital transformation, which ultimately becomes the preferred option. This strategy focuses on building proprietary ESG analytics platforms, automating internal processes, and creating a scalable digital delivery model. According to Tees et al. In 1997 research, according to Tees, the firms that embed dynamic capabilities through technology and learning systems are better equipped for long-term competitive advantage. This option directly addresses organization access weaknesses, such as founder dependency and limited digital infrastructure, while also leveraging its strengths. The first strategic option is market penetration and brand visibility. This involves strengthening organization access digital presence, expanding into tier 1 markets, and building credibility through thought leadership, ESG publications, and client outreach campaigns. From a theoretical standpoint, Porter's work on competitive strategy emphasizes that differentiation requires consistent visibility and customer awareness, and at present, Organization X has limited brand recognition. Increasing market penetration is therefore strategically attractive, but comes with constraints. When evaluating this option through the strategic option grid, a framework proposed in a 2007 piece by Tony Grundy, this strategy scores moderately on strategic attractiveness. The ESG consulting market is growing, and there is increasing demand for credible service providers. However, the financial attractiveness is limited. Market penetration requires substantial investment in marketing, branding, and building visibility, which may strain the organization's current resources. The implementation difficulty is high because this option depends heavily on reducing founder dependency, establishing a stable team, and building process for consistent content creation, areas that were identified as weaknesses in the SWOT analysis. Risk and uncertainty are moderate because competitors, particularly large firms, can quickly imitate visibility campaigns. Finally, stakeholder acceptability is moderate. While clients would welcome improved visibility, internal capability gaps and resource constraints make this option less feasible at this stage. For these reasons, market penetration is attractive, but not the preferred strategy. The second strategic option is partnership-driven expansion. This strategy leverages alliances with climate tech firms, academic institutions, and industry associations to co-create ESG solutions and offer joint programs. Unit 4 of our strategic management module highlighted that alliances are increasingly important for organizations that lack scale but possesses valuable niche expertise. This is consistent with findings by Hart and Milstein in 2003, who argued that sustainability-focused firms can accelerate value creation by partnering with actors who complement their capabilities. Evaluating this option through Grundy's strategic option grid shows that its strategic attractiveness is high. Partnerships allow Organization X to quickly access new markets, acquire additional capabilities, and enhance credibility without heavy capital expenditure. The financial attractiveness is also moderate to high, as costs are shared between partners, reducing the organization's financial burden. Implementation difficulty is medium, as partnerships require negotiation, alignment of goals, and shared governance structures. However, this is still easier than scaling capabilities alone. The risk and uncertainty remain moderate. Partnership success depends on alignment, partner reliability, and intellectual property considerations. Stakeholder acceptability is high. Clients would welcome enhanced capability offerings, employees benefit from knowledge sharing, and partners gain access to organization access expertise in ESG advisory. Overall, this option is highly compelling, but it still does not fundamentally address the internal structure and capability challenges identified earlier. The third option, and ultimately the preferred one, is digital transformation. This strategy involves building proprietary ESG analytics and climate risk tools, automating internal processes, standardizing delivery, and enhancing digital customer experiences. It not only aligns with global trends, but also responds directly to Organization X's internal challenges. Digital transformation aligns strongly with what Tees and colleagues describe in their 1997 research as dynamic capabilities. The ability to integrate, build, and reconfigure capabilities in rapidly changing environments. Such adaptability is essential in ESG consulting, where different regulations, client expectations, and technologies evolve very quickly. Evaluating this option using the strategic option grid shows that the strategic attractiveness is very high. ESG analytics, scenario modeling, and digital reporting capabilities are critical differentiators, especially against large competitors. The financial attractiveness is high in the long term. initial investment is moderate, but once digital assets are created, marginal costs drop significantly, enabling scalable growth. The implementation difficulty is medium to high because this option requires building digital infrastructure, training teams, and reducing founder dependency. However, unlike the first option, this process also builds internal capability, turning weaknesses into strengths. Risk and uncertainty remain manageable. Unlike partnership strategies, digital transformation allows organization X to retain control over its intellectual capital. Stakeholder acceptability is very high. Clients benefit from faster, more reliable insights. Employees gain enhanced tools. And investors or funders perceive digital maturity as a credibility sign. Finally, this strategy aligns strongly with the organization's emerging competencies in ESG analytics and communication. As Prahlad and Hemel emphasized in 1990, long-term advantage comes from building and leveraging internal competencies, exactly what digital transformation enables. For these reasons, digital transformation is the recommended strategic option. Based on the evaluation of all three strategic options, digital transformation is the most compelling path for organization X's long-term success. This recommendation is grounded in the logic of core competencies, dynamic capabilities, and the strategic option grid. Digital transformation directly addresses the organization's major weaknesses, including founder dependency, limited scalability, and inconsistent processes. By automating workflows and codifying expertise into digital codes, the organization creates systems that no longer rely on one individual. This is essential for organizational resilience and growth. From a capability perspective, this option strengthens what Prahlad and Hemel described in their 1990 research as collective learning, the foundation of core competencies. By embedding ESG expertise into AI-enabled tools, dashboards, and analytical models, Organization X transforms tacit knowledge into scalable intellectual capital. This strategy is also aligned with the dynamic capabilities framework proposed by Teese and colleagues in 1997. In a rapidly evolving ESG landscape, where regulations, technologies, and client expectations shift constantly, the organizations that thrive are those capable of sensing opportunities, seizing them, and reconfiguring their resources accordingly. Digital transformation is precisely such a capability building strategy. In terms of financial attractiveness, transformation has a moderate upfront investment, but it creates long-term value by reducing marginal delivery costs, improving accuracy, and enabling the firm to serve more clients with the same resources. Stakeholder acceptability is also very high. Clients benefit from faster insights, more consistent analysis, and digital dashboards. Employees gain improved tools and a cleaner workflow. Partners and investors perceive digital maturity as a strong credibility signal. Finally, digital transformation enhances differentiation. While larger consulting firms rely on scale, Organization X can compete by being faster, more specialized, and more technologically integrated. For these reasons, digital transformation is not just an attractive option, it is the most strategic, feasible, and future-proof option. The strategic concept that best supports digital transformation is core competencies. In their seminal 1990 research, Prahlad and Hemel argued that long-term competitive advantage is anchored not in products or markets, but in the deep competencies that organizations build over time. These competencies give firms access to multiple markets, create disproportionate customer value, and are difficult for competitors to imitate. For Organization X, several emerging strengths already resemble the foundations of core competencies, including ESG analytics, sustainability storytelling, and regulatory interpretation. However, as Barney highlights in his 1991 work on the resource-based view, these strengths only become true source of sustained competitive advantage if they meet the Brio criteria: valuable, rare, difficult to imitate, and organizationally embedded. At present, some of these strengths are valuable and rare, but they are not yet fully embedded. Founder dependency and inconsistent processes prevent them from becoming Brio-compliant core competencies. Digital transformation directly addresses this gap. To convert emerging strengths into true competencies, Organization X must reduce founder dependency by building team capacity and distributing expertise. Second, codify knowledge into digital tools, templates, and playbooks. Third, build digital infrastructure that embeds competencies into repeatable systems. Fourth, invest in talent to strengthen analytical and technological capabilities. Fifth, Establish renewable mechanisms consistent with Leonard Barton's 1992 insights to ensure competencies evolve rather than becoming rigidities. By doing this, Organization X will not only develop core competencies, it will build a dynamic capability that cannot be easily replicated by competitors. This strategic concept, therefore, underpins and strengthens the recommended option of digital transformation. In conclusion, the strategic review followed a structured approach, beginning with the SWOT, converting those insights into a TOWS matrix, evaluating 3 long-term options, and ultimately recommending digital transformation as the most strategic and feasible path for Organization X. This option builds technological capability, reduces organizational bottlenecks, and strengthens differentiation in a competitive ESG consulting market. By embedding expertise into systems and tools, the firm develops Brio-aligned core competencies that support sustainable, scalable growth. When supported by digital infrastructure, talent development, cultural alignment, and capability renewal, Organization X can create the kind of long-term strategic advantage described in the literature by Prahlad and Hamel, Barney and Teese. Thank you for your time. I look forward to any questions or feedback.